Hey, this is Devin Cooper, and you're listening to Music Row.
Welcome to Music Row, a backstage pass to your favorite country artists. Here's your host, Leek.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for all the listens, all the shares, and the love. I was at Toronto's Departure Festival this week, and people were coming up to me from everywhere telling me how much they enjoy the program. Man, it means so much. Thank you. Today's guest on Music Row is Devin Cooper, who's not only a super talent, but an incredible giver. Check this out. He started working for Alberta Health at the age of 7, created a charity event which has now raised over $100,000 for Alzheimer's research and care, donated 80% of his liver to his father. And when you hear Devin talk, you can hear that he's part of a much bigger community and he's looking to grow community. I think you'll find him pretty inspiring. Definitely, the dude has a motor. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that his mom took him to see Nickelback when he was 6 years old. Devin Cooper, coming up on Music Row. First, some news. Lainey Wilson dominated the 60th Academy of Country Music Awards, taking home Entertainer of the Year for the second year in a row. She also won Female Artist of the Year, Album of the Year for Whirlwind, and Artist Songwriter of the Year, making her one of the night's biggest winners. Ella Langley had a standout night as well, winning New Female Artist of the Year and 3 additional awards, including Single of the Year for You Look Like You Love Me with Riley Green. Chris Stapleton secured Male Artist of the Year, while Brooks and Dunn made a triumphant return to winning as they picked up Duo of the Year, their first in 15 years. Old Dominion continued their streak, claiming Group of the Year for not 6, not 7, but 8 years in a row. Adding to the excitement, Rascal Flatts reunited for a surprise performance, bringing out the Backstreet Boys to join them on stage for a set that included What Hurts the Most, I Dare You, Larger Than Life, and Life is a Highway.
Wherever there's a heartbeat and a stage, there's an artist set to perform. This is Music Row on Tour.
On Tour is brought to you by the Pecan Agency, connecting the bands with fans worldwide. Thomas Rhett's 2025 Better in Boots Tour chugs along in June. Check it out, June 5, Nashville, Tennessee, the 10th in Chicago, June 15, Denver, Colorado. You can catch Bailey Zimmerman June 6 in Dallas, Texas, June 12, Atlanta, and June 18 in Toronto. And Morgan Wallen's 2025 I'm the Problem Tour hits LA on the 20th of June, Seattle on the 25th, and Vancouver June 30th. Coming up, my conversation with Devin Cooper.
Hi, my name is Kim Stockwood. I am a proud Newfoundlander and a Canadian singer-songwriter. In a landscape where many lack access to health benefits or employee assistance programs, the Unison Fund serves as a lifeline of hope for musicians and music industry professionals facing medical emergencies or mental health challenges. To learn more about Unison and their programs, please visit unisonfund.ca.
Hey, this is Devin Cooper. You're listening to Music Row with Leek.
You have some hardcore friends out there, hardcore bands. Isn't that one of the things that is good for Devin Cooper, to have that gigantic mix of I like country music, I like metal, I like rock and roll?
Yeah.
Kind of helps in your songwriting?
I think so. I think it's great to pull from all these different influences. I mean, I'm staying out here with one of my first cousins. He's in a hardcore band. I feel like getting to listen to all those different kinds of music, you just get to pull different influences, get to pull different ideas.
And then, bring it back into your sound. Yeah. But then your sound, you got to be careful when you're recording songs. Like, you've done a lot of writing over your years. I'm sure you got to be cognizant of who Devin Cooper is when you're presenting a new album that is coming this summer, because it can't be a metal song, a hip hop song, and a country song on the same release.
I mean, I suppose it could.
Okay, Zach. Okay, Zach Brown.
But no, it's one of those things where I think, the more you write, the more you tour, the more you play, you kind of figure out what it is you want to do and what it is you want to say. And I've been really fortunate to have a lot of good people to write with over the last, handful of years, and a lot of good people to look up to and work with that have been able to kind of help narrow that sound in for me.
When did you get the idea that, I should be writing with people? Were you working with an association like the Alberta Country Music Association or something like that? And they said, hey, you might want to try writing with people.
I kind of just dipped my toes into country music a little bit. I was came from the rock world, obviously, is what I grew up listening to and what was all around me while I was growing up. So I started out writing songs just by myself. But I remember one pivotal moment. I went to the Calgary Music Awards. I was like 18 or 19 at the time. Wasn't really involved in the country scene. But I showed up there. I was nominated for a Blues Recording of the Year for a song I'd put out. And I got into the venue and looked around, and there's all these little like individual groups. And it's like, oh, that's a rock band. That's a rock band. Everyone's kind of all segregated. And then there's this like one giant community of all these people hanging out together. And I remember asking someone like, who are all those people? And they're like, oh, that's like the country world. It's like, oh, I want to be a part of that. Like, how do I be a part of that? They're all hanging out together. They're all working together.
You know what? You're right, because country music does that. Country music are the ones that are going to help each other out first and foremost. Like they're going to collaborate. They're going to crash on my couch. I really like that song. Let's do a duet together.
Totally.
Rock, indie, not so much.
No, it's a little dog eat dog versus like, all ships rise with the tide. And I mean, we all write together. A lot of us share bandmates. We record at the same studios. We use some of the same session players.
When your gear blows a tire on the road, you can call up another friend in country music and they're like, yeah, I got a guitar you can use tonight.
Absolutely.
Because that stuff happens.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
So your mom was the big rock and roll kind of metal, hair metal.
Yeah.
The best way to describe it. 80s rock.
Yeah.
Dad's got the mechanic shop. Is he into music?
Yeah,
or is it just on in the background with like air guns running?
No, he's into music. It's on in the background, but he's a big Southern rock and blues fan. So for him, it's like, Lynyrd Skynyrd, ZZ Top, Stevie Ray Vaughan, all that kind of stuff, which is where I feel like a lot of my guitar playing and sound now is kind of rooted in, is a lot of that Southern blues, rock, ZZ Top kind of thing is where I draw a lot of influence from.
Mom was taking you to shows at an early age, which is a crapshoot for anybody because you're out late and you shouldn't be maybe out late sometimes, let alone at a Nickelback show, who I am convinced have the loudest concerts still to date. I've been to lots of them and I'm like, wow, you didn't even hear the big cannon because the guitars are still so loud.
I would say it's a toss-up between them and Judas Priest. I went to Judas Priest in like 2010, and that was the last concert I didn't wear earplugs for. My ears rung for 4 days.
I saw a great meme about Rob Halford and Judas Priest. He's standing on the front lawn with a rake, and the music is raking the lawn, raking the lawn. Have you seen that?
I saw that.
Made me laugh. There's music that's playing around, which is why people get into music by and large, because there's just a little bit of an influence. But nobody played.
No, like we had a piano in the house. My dad played piano when he was growing up, but he never considered himself like a player. He could like sit down and he could read the notes and do the thing, but that was kind of where it ended. There was no like real passion to want to do it. It's like one of those things where your parents are like, you're going to take piano lessons.
Right.
And my mom played a little bit of piano just kind of by ear. Again, never really pursued it or anything, just kind of played a little bit. So there's a piano in our house growing up, and then a big stereo system like everyone had in the late 90s with the 5-disc changer and the tower speakers and
the CD tower
CD
too.
Tower, absolutely.
All the classics.
So that was where the real music was in the house.
Your mom is working in long-term care. Your dad's working in the shop. His piano days are kind of shutting down because he's broken every knuckle in the shop probably.
Yeah.
You end up becoming a volunteer within Alberta Health at like 7 years old, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 7 years old.
What turned you to help out at 7? Because most people, like I grew up in Manitoba and 7-year-olds just threw rocks at each other.
That's fair.
you weren't going to the long-term care facility.
I don't know what would have made me want to do it other than I just had good parents growing up. And I guess if you see someone in need, you help them out if you can.
So you're working there and you end up getting into music. They allow you to get a guitar. And I say allow because guitars can be noisy. Thankfully, it wasn't drums probably for the most part.
That came later.
They ended up letting you have drums as well.
They did.
Wow. Your parents. I want to meet your parents. It sounds like I could just go over there and be like, I want everything. And they'll be like, that's a great idea. We fully support you.
Yeah. They'd say, if you want everything, you should go work for it.
How did you not take advantage of it? Like, if they're kind of like being that kind of open.
Oh, I fully did. They never asked me to stop playing ever. Like, I could play as loud as I wanted, as late as I wanted. It didn't matter. I was allowed to play.
When did they start saying, hey, you're actually sounding okay?
I feel like it was pretty quick. Like, I played my first show in grade 1. I asked the teacher if I could bring my guitar to school and play a show for the class.
Do you remember what you played?
I played Smoke on the Water, which everyone learns is their first song.
Sure.
Iron Man, Back in Black. And then I remember I played, this is hilarious. We have it on video too, this whole thing. We had one of those big, cameras that
actually had a VHS tape in it.
And I started playing House of the Rising Sun, and one of the teachers was like, "Oh, can I sing along?" And I stopped and was like, "This is my show, not your show."
Yeah, how dare you?
Kept playing. So that's what,
Mr. McWilson.
That's what 7-year-old me was saying to the teacher.
Well, he had some, and been playing shows, like just went right at it after that. Like, do you remember the first time you took a stage that wasn't in the school?
Yeah, the first time I would have taken a stage, I was probably 11. A friend of my dad's, who was one of my mentors early on when I was learning how to play guitar, him and his wife had put together a little trio of us. There's a drummer, bass player, and myself. We were called 1111 because we were 11 years old.
Okay.
And we played this little talent contest that was happening in Sylvan Lake, and we played a song that they had written.
Oh, okay. So they said, take one of these originals, because it was probably one of those, if you're going to be in the talent contest, you had to do an original?
I don't know if you had to or not. I don't really remember, but I know that we learned this original that they had written and performed it. And so that was probably the first time I was 11 years old. And then when I was 13 or 14, started a rock band with a couple guys at school, and we started playing shows.
What were the songs that you were playing when you first got together with the rock band?
We were playing like old rock tunes. Like, I think we opened the show with There's Gonna Be Some Rock and AC/DC. We played like Living After Midnight, Judas Priest.
Because you've been playing guitar now for 7 years.
Yeah.
So you've got some chops.
So yeah, and our little shtick was each of us all played drums, bass, and guitar. So we'd do 5 songs each on each instrument. We switched around.
How did you find each other, though? Because you're in a small town. There's not a lot of pickings. You just can't, have like 3 different people audition.
Yeah, it was me and 2 brothers. And my dad actually went to school with their dad. And we ended up, I had played guitar. They started a little bit later. And I taught them guitar lessons kind of to begin with. And then we started this band and did that for a few years, kind of till like probably grade 11.
Right. And then people start getting like part-time jobs, and it seems like, man, this is a slog. I'm not so sure I'm into this.
Well, then I started doing my own shows by myself. So we'd been doing all this band stuff, but then I started doing these solo acoustic shows as myself.
And then you don't have to split the babes with the other 2 guys.
Exactly. 16 years old, so many. No. But
was there a lot of places to play though? Because you're in a small town, and that's a drag. Because
there's quite a few. When I was 16, I got a monthly gig at Fee and McCool's, which is an Irish pub in Red Deer, and I don't think they knew I was 16.
Perfect.
So I played 3 45-minute sets, solo acoustic, once a month, and that was kind of my first gig that I had.
And no one's there to see you because they're going for a pub night, and there just happens to be this 16-year-old there.
Yeah.
And so your job is to try to make it as comfortable and cool for everybody, knowing that they're not fans. You're just getting reps.
Totally. So that was kind of when it all started, and I started playing out some of my original tunes, and I had to build a 3 45-minute set of all these different songs and figure out how to play for that long and sing for that long. And
what is the song that you were playing that you were like, oh God, I have to play this song because it always wins when I'm at McCool's, or it always wins when I'm busking at the Calgary airport?
Probably.
But if this is the one you hate playing, but it works.
Probably like a Florida Georgia Line song or something, like Cruise or something. Cruise was big at the time.
Right.
That tune. So everyone loved that one. For a while I played, what was his name? He was on American Idol. Philip Phillips.
Sure.
He had that song. The Gone, Gone, Gone,
right?
I think so. That was the one I played back in the day. Everybody loved that. It was big at the time.
So who taught you that you had to be, a little bit more for them and not for you? Because any party that I went to at that age, if you went to the rock guy's party, he was playing rock and roll for him and not for the 15 other people that hated rock and roll, but he was the guy that had the beer that night and was throwing the banger.
Yeah, I think it was because I was getting paid to be there, and if I didn't play something that was going to engage the audience in some sort of way, they'd just hire somebody else.
Were they giving you feedback at the end of the day, or were they saying, no, it was actually good, we'll see you next month?
It was pretty much like, yeah, that was great, thanks for coming, have a good night, see you next time. And then a few people started showing up, and it was kind of like, once a month I'd be there, and then eventually you'd start to see kind of the same people kind of show up, which was cool. So I started selling t-shirts, got a t-shirt made, and because I had no music out or anything
Sure.
like that. But it was like, what else can I do to make money while I'm here? So,
And the bar would know, I guess, because if people are staying that much longer on that particular Sunday than they did the previous Sunday,
yeah,
they're making that much more money, then
totally.
something's happening here. Let's talk about your charity initiative. It's been going for 5 years. It is raising money in support of Alzheimer's. And you started this
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Why did you create a charity initiative in 2019 where you're going to do a ride and try to raise money for Alzheimer's? Because I get it on paper. It's a great idea and everybody wants to help out. It's a lot of work. And it doesn't always pay the result that maybe you think you're going to get.
Totally. I was a part of a artist development program called Project Wild, which was based out of Alberta, put on.
That's through our radio station.
Yeah, through Jim Pattison Broadcast Group. And so I was a part of that, and we had a bunch of challenges we had to do as a part of this program. And one of them was a charity element of some sort. Could be in any capacity. Could be just volunteering for an afternoon. Could be whatever you want. So I just kind of looked at everything and was like, what could I do here that I could actually create as like a long-lasting thing? Like I wasn't just thinking in the moment, what can I do just for this program? It's like, what can I do as a long-lasting thing to keep going and keep moving on with? So that's when I came up with Ride to Remember, which was, again, bringing everything that was my childhood all together in one, with the motorcycles, the music, volunteering, and Alzheimer's. How much money has been made? Just over $100,000 has been raised for the Alzheimer's Society of Calgary now. We started out the first year, raised $1,500, was ecstatic.
That's incredible.
Second year, $3,000, amazing. Third year, $7,000. And I was like, great, we're doubling every year. Fourth year, I put out a goal for $15,000 because I want just over double the 7. We ended up raising $40,000.
What were you doing? How did you get it from, though, to say a goal? You got to be putting in extra effort. You got to be like doing a lot more campaigning and stuff like that. Maybe some corporate sponsors.
So for the 4th annual event, we scaled it up quite a bit. Had some partners come on at Weber Academy in Calgary, and we did a live show that was filmed and broadcast to PBS as Stampede City Sessions, one of the shows that is on there. And so we did a live filmed concert. It was myself and Corey Marks. And then Stampede City Sessions themselves have quite a built-in audience. So we had about 350 people there in the room, which was, again, the biggest one yet. And we're able to raise that much money because we had so many more people in the door.
Devin Cooper is a bit of a doer.
Bit of a doer. Like to do things.
Is there a downtime where you're like, man, I'm starting to get antsy. I got to get moving.
I try not to leave enough space to have that.
Right. So you're back to back and probably like a threat to everybody around you. It's like, oh, damn it, Devin's here. He's going to make us move.
I don't think that's
He's going to make us get off the couch. I know you've got lots of shows going on. There's shows all over Southern Ontario right now. You've got more Stampede placement coming up this summer. How many times have you played the Stampede now? It's hometown gigs.
This will be my 4th or 5th year playing at the Calgary Stampede, which has been actually longer than that. I played in 2018 and 2019. I did some smaller gigs around Stampede. And then I've been at Nashville North, which is the big party tent, like 5,000 or 7,500 people with the full band. This will be our 5th year there.
And new music coming this June. And you have like about 500 songs that you're going to choose from to put on this album. What the songs that don't make the cut for this album, do they stay in some other song world? Do they get sold as a licensed thing, a publishing thing? Do you come out with the greater, better, biggest, largest hits collection?
Some of them go to a Google Doc drive to die and never be seen again.
A date with the delete key.
Some of them end up being recorded by other artists. I'm super fortunate to have a bunch of songs that I've written and been a part of co-writing that have been recorded by a bunch of other artists now. And then some of them just kind of get put in the back burner where I know it's something that I want to record, but I don't know if it's the right time yet.
Lots going on with Devin Cooper. The charity, where can people go to donate and help out?
They can find everything at Ride to Remember YYC, as well as I post everything all over my socials for when it's coming up.
Let's say your Instagram right now is Devin Cooper Music?
At Devin Cooper Music.
Thanks for being so generous with your time. To people,
my pleasure.
Let alone me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Follow Music Row on X at Music Row Country. On Instagram at Music Row Official. Music Row is produced by Shed of Dreams.